Hi, I'm Segilola Salami, mom of one, and all things sugar and spice, including being an author of a children's book, well, my first children's book called Yetunde, The Life and Times of a Yoruba Girl in London. Um, so basically what's today? Today is Wednesday, the 21st of October 2015. I got an email from a lady, I think it's a lady, but it could also be a name, a guy, sort of who saw a press release that I'd released in relation to my book, and, wanted to say, kudos to me. And the person is an aspiring writer and wanted to know what I did to become self-published or to get to publish my book. I wanted to reply back, but time, I didn't feel I could do justice by writing it down, just because I've got a little girl who's less than one, and trying to write and looking after a girl at the same time is quite difficult. And I also felt that other people might benefit from what I had to say. I'm just guessing, I'm not an expert. So she would wanted to know, how I did what I did. So the first thing that I'm going to say, so basically this message is for this person who's contacted me, but I hope other people would enjoy or get, even if it's one thing out of it, they would get something out of it as well. Okay, just hold on 2 seconds. Yeah. Okay, I'm back. So I'm doing several things at the same time. Okay, so I didn't actually plan on writing a book. The book just sort of fell onto my lap. And I thought, why not? Okay. So the first thing, so I'm self-published. I do not have a publisher at the moment. Who knows, in the not too distant future, or later it might change. But at the moment, I do not have a publisher, and everything that I've done, I've done off my, by myself. Writing a book is the easy bit. Where the hard work comes in is in the marketing, getting people to know about your book, right? Even if your book is really, really bad, right? Or if it is really, really good, if no one knows about it, then no one's going to, to give you any comments on it, right? So if it was really bad, for instance, and then a million people heard about it, well, that's still a million people who have read your book and given you feedback. And hopefully before you get to, to a million people giving you negative feedback, you would have easily, made amendments to the book. So the first thing that I did was to upload my book onto Amazon Kindle. So it's called the Kindle Direct Publishing. Actually, before I did that, okay, now, sorry, the other thing I need to say is that before you can expect anybody to invest in your writing, you have to invest in yourself. Okay. What I found later on is that a lot of publishers, they don't take unsolicited emails. Okay, so you can't just sort of email them and submit your manuscript and say, hey, read it, be my publisher. It doesn't work like that. And then those publishers who do take unsolicited emails, they would say, if you look on their website, they can say that it could take anything up to 8 weeks for them to review your original proposal and decide whether or not they would like to discuss with you further or not. So you can imagine if you had to wait 8 weeks to hear back from someone and you've got your manuscript, it's just sitting there gathering dust. And even if they do come back to you to say, okay, we would like to take it further, and they wanted to read your whole manuscript, it can easily take another 8 weeks, make it as a total of 16 weeks before you hear back, from them. And it's a 50-50 chance that it could be yes and it could be no, right? So you've got, over 3 months whilst you're waiting, when you could easily make your book to be working for you. Right? And I think that publishers would also be interested in seeing someone who is proactive and doing their own marketing, because you can't expect a marketer to get a publicist or a marketing company to market your book if you're not willing to put in the effort. So, for instance, they might organize book tours and you will need to organize. Before I get carried away, turn back. Now, the good thing with Kindle Direct Publishing is that when you can upload your ebook onto the Amazon platform to be read on Kindle. and you can make edits at any time. If you want to go the cheap way, you can use the cover template that Amazon will provide. But why would you want to go the cheap way? Like, that template, somebody else could potentially have used it. So what I did was that I hired someone to design a cover image for me. Okay. Now, Amazon also, so that you go on Kindle Direct Publishing to publish your ebook on Amazon platform. And to get your print book, there's also another service that Amazon do, and it's called Create Space. The thing that I liked about Amazon, this Create Space, but I would just say this, there's this saying that failing to prepare is preparing to fail, right? I looked on the specifications that was on Create Space. Okay, sorry, I'm going to try and round this up. So this is why I don't really have a lot of time. So, sorry, darling. So I looked on the information that was available on Create Space. And that was, what helped me. It gave me the specifications of what I needed my cover image, the technical bit. So for instance, there's something called DPI, which is about the quality of the image. So basically, when I got the designer to design the cover image, I told him that I needed it to make sure that the quality of the image matched the quality that Create Space had put as their specification. Because obviously, if they don't make it to be a good enough quality, so that when it's printed, if it's a bad one, so I think if it's less than 100 DPI, it becomes quite blurry. Whereas they said that the standard is for it to be 300 DPI and above, so that when the image is printed, it comes out quite crispy. Also I found that the information that Create Space had put was actually quite useful to me. At the moment, I haven't uploaded the book onto Create Space. Create Space is a print-on-demand service that prints the paperback version of your book. I've gone a different way. Now, if you're going through the specification on Create Space, they've got a cheap option where you don't pay, you use their own ISBN, which basically or technically makes them the publisher of your book and sort of limits your rights. But if you want to then become your own publisher, and maintain all the rights and stuff, then it would be recommended that you buy your own ISBN number. In the UK, it's called Nielsen, Nielsen. In other countries, they all have different names. I don't know. You'll have to find out what the name of the ISBN provider is in your own country. So when you do buy your own ISBN, it now gives you publisher rights. So I bought my own ISBN. So I've registered my book with Nielsen's, obviously. Someone also recommended that I register, in a company called the Bibliographic Database Service. And they're one of those places where they populate your book data and send it out to a lot of people. I'm still waiting for the book paperback version to now become widely available to all retailers, book retailers in the UK. And so, so that's where I've sort of gotten at the moment. Now, one of the things that I found that was really quite difficult going the self-published route myself was actually in printing. A lot of companies, I saw one company, they said they would print 50 books at £7.90 each, which I thought was a ridiculous price. Other prices, other companies I saw, they were slightly cheaper. They were around £6, £5 something per book, which I'm thinking, if I'm printing the book just for £5 something, how or where am I going to, how much am I going to sell the book for? But then I did find another company, and they were willing to do it for just under £3 per copy, which I thought was reasonable. If you would like to, they're in the UK. So if you send me a message, and you're in the UK and you want to know, how you can print it, or if you want to use this one, send me a message and I'll give you their contact details. I'm not sure if I'm making a lot of sense. I hope I'm making a lot of sense, but I'll just try and reiterate. Writing your book is the easy bit. To get a publisher, it takes a lot of hard work, okay? Now, you probably have to send hundreds of emails to even find one that may possibly say they want to read your manuscript in full. Before you might actually get that information, it can take anything up to 8 weeks for them to give you that initial say, okay, send us your full manuscript. And then from when they say they send us your full manuscript, they can again still take another up to 8 weeks, to get feedback. So whilst you're waiting for them to, come back to you and say they want to publish you, you might as well make your book to earn money for you. So you can then, what I've done for my book is that I published the book, the ebook version onto Amazon Kindle Direct Publishing. I got a professional to design the cover image for me. I didn't use any templates because I think, it tells a lot about you if you have a poor looking book. I got a professional proofreader to proofread my book because again, I've been looking at the book so much, I might have missed my commas, I might have not crossed all my T's. So I got a professional book reader to do it. So that then got it. Then I've registered my book. All books need to have an ISBN number. So if you look at the back of most books, you will see that there is a barcode at the back, and which is basically just unique to that book itself. So I bought my own ISBN number, and that sort of made me the publisher of my own book. Then I got somebody, so my marketing efforts, what have I done so far? I got someone to design a book or to make a book trailer for me. I then also paid someone to do a press release for me and distribute it. I've contacted a number of people, bloggers, to say, can they host me for a blog tour? There are companies who would say to you, you can pay them and they will get you some bloggers. You can do it on your own. I've done it on my own. I got 2 people. But it's just because, again, I'm limited on time. So what have I done? So I've got a video trailer of the book. So you can see the video trailer of my book on my YouTube channel. I've had a press release done, which was how this lady who inquired about how I did my publishing, that's how she found me. So those are the 2. And then I've then spoken to some people to see if they can host me on their blogs. I think my little madam needs me now, so I'm going to stop. If you have any other specific questions, just drop me a message and I'll try and answer it as soon as I can. Thank you. Bye.